Welcome to the deep dive, where we try to cut through the noise.
Get right to the heart of what's happening.
Exactly. And today, wow, we're diving into a world that's just spinning so fast.
AI and jobs, right? Feels like the news changes every day. Contradictory stuff, too.
Totally. You get these stories about incredible productivity boosts.
Like game-changing stuff.
But then, almost in the same breath, these really quite alarming warnings about, the future of work. It's confusing.
It really is. A lot to unpack there.
So let's try and do that. The world of software development specifically is, wow, it's buzzing. Maybe vibrating is a better word.
Yeah. A mix of excitement and, frankly, anxiety about AI.
Right. And this summer, something really kicked things off. August 2025, AWS CEO Matt Garman. He went on a big tech podcast.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Made some waves.
He really did.
Mm-hmm.
He called the idea of replacing junior developers with AI one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Strong words.
Very strong. And his reasoning seemed solid, didn't it?
Yeah, he laid it out. Economically irrational, destructive to the talent pipeline.
Like, where do future senior devs come from if you cut off the entry point?
Exactly. Made a lot of sense. But
There's always a but, isn't there? The timing was awkward.
very. Because you had Garmin saying this. Very reassuring.
Well, AWS's parent company, Amazon, had literally just done layoffs a month before.
And their CEO, Andy Jassy, had pretty explicitly linked future workforce reductions to AI efficiency gains.
Right, so you have this direct contradiction. Garmin says one thing, Jassy implies another.
And that just lit a fire online, didn't it? Hacker News, places like that.
Oh, yeah, it exploded. That one thread, number 44972151, became this focal point.
For lightning rod.
Exactly. And like one user, Brushfoot, said it just revealed this totally fractured landscape, developers living in different worlds.
Different worlds. That really captures it.
Yeah. And that's kind of our mission for this deep dive, isn't it? To explore those different worlds.
Understand these core conflicts. Productivity, code quality, learning, the workforce itself.
It's not just tech talk. It's economics. It's corporate strategy. Affects everyone.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. The core question, does this AI-assisted development, does it actually work?
And work well, consistently.
Yeah, because the split we found in the sources, it's deep. It seems to boil down to this tension between speed and quality. AI just throws that into overdrive.
Makes sense. The pressure for both is immense.
So on one side, you've got what we're calling the 80% automation camp.
Okay, tell me about them.
These are developers seeing huge productivity jumps, like truly transformative.
Real examples.
Yep. User Brushfoot, the same one who mentioned different worlds, works in B2B SaaS. They use Sonnet 4 in agent mode.
So giving the AI a goal and letting it run.
Exactly. That plus GitHub Copilot. And get this, they say they now write maybe 20% of the code. The AI agents, they do the other 80%.
80%. Wow.
That's huge.
Isn't it? And another one, user Stenerud, used Claude AI, generated all the ceremonious bits for a project in like 10 minutes.
Stuff that would normally take.
Yeah.
A full day, they said. It wasn't perfect, mind you, but it got them 90% of the way there.
So a massive accelerator. What kind of tasks are we talking about here?
Seems common for popular languages, JavaScript, Python, Rust, and for tasks that are pretty well defined, or repetitive stuff.
Like boilerplate code, unit tests, maybe documentation, data wrangling.
Exactly that kind of thing.
And that 80% figure, does that track with wider research? It sounds almost too good to be true for some people.
It does sound high, but yeah, it actually aligns pretty well. McKinsey had a study pointing out speed gains, especially on that manual, repetitive work.
Giving you a jump start on drafts.
Right. And Anthropic, they make Claude, their own research found 79% of conversations with their code tool were for automation.
Meaning the AI doing the task, not just helping.
Yeah, direct task completion. So for this camp, AI is genuinely a force multiplier. It's changing how they work, fundamentally.
Okay, so that's the booster side. But you mentioned the split.
A big one. Because for every story like that, there's another developer saying AI code is, well, a liability.
The spaghetti code critics, as you called them.
Yep. They see AI output as low quality, buggy, sometimes just plain nonsensical.
Harsh words.
Very. User Moy2388 called it a huge mess of spaghetti code, overly verbose with serious performance and security risks. Ouch.
That's pretty damning. Specific examples of frustration.
Oh, yeah. User F1 Shy spent an hour wrestling with Copilot, trying to get a fast CGI client written in C.
Okay, that's niche. Performance critical stuff.
Exactly. Copilot apparently gave 5 different versions, none of them compiled.
Oh dear. So what happened?
They just deleted the total mess, sat down, and wrote a clean 350-line version from scratch. Faster in the end.
So the AI help was actually negative work.
It seems like it in that case, and a common theme is these AI hallucinations.
Right, where it just makes things up, invents functions or APIs that don't exist.
Yeah, user motorist mentioned that happens a lot. Seems particularly bad in those niche areas like embedded C++C or with really complex old code bases.
Where the AI just doesn't have enough good data to learn from, maybe.
That seems to be the theory. It highlights a stark contrast, doesn't it?
Absolutely. One side sees 80% automation, the other sees non-compiling messes.
Yeah.
So what's the cost of that bad code? Are we just building up problems for later?
That's the fear, isn't it? This idea of a looming crisis in software maintainability.
Sounds serious.
Yeah.
Is there data on this AI-induced tech debt?
There is. GitClear did a study in 2025, looked at millions of lines of code. They found code churn, that's code deleted or rewritten soon after being written, is projected to double in 2024.
Double. Wow. So write fast, rewrite faster.
Seems like it. Suggests the first draft from AI often needs major work. They also saw copy-pasted code increasing faster than careful changes.
Like a short-term developer just dropping code in without integrating it properly.
Exactly their analogy. And other research backs this up. LLMs might generate code that works functionally.
But it's unmaintainable. Breaks all the best practices.
Yeah, and performance drops when you go from simple functions to bigger things, like classes.
So the focus on shipping features fast could be creating this massive pile of low-quality code under the surface.
A hidden mortgage, like you said. Someone eventually has to pay it back by debugging that mess.
That's a huge potential cost. It really highlights the tension.
So given this massive difference in experience, what explains it? One key thing seems to be the AI model itself. AI isn't just one thing.
Right. Different tools, different results.
Definitely seems that way. There's a really strong sentiment in the discussions that Anthropic's Claude models are just better for coding right now.
Better than others. How much better?
Well, user Ramesh 31 was incredibly blunt. Claude is the only viable coding model. Everything else descends into a mess of verbose spaghetti full of hallucinations. Claude is head and shoulders above the rest.
Head and shoulders above? That's a strong claim. Is it just anecdote, or is there more to it? Why would one model be so much better at code?
It's not just anecdote. Formal studies are starting to back this up pretty clearly.
Okay, like what?
There was a 2024 study looking at using LLMs for complex code generation in human-robot interaction, HRI stuff.
Tricky domain. What did they find?
The results were stark. Claude 3.5 Sonnet, 95% success rate.
Wow. And the others?
Gemini 1.5 Pro got 60%, and ChatGPT 3.5 only 20%.
20%. That's barely usable for complex tasks. Why such a big gap?
The study noted ChatGPT 3.5 really struggled with spatial reasoning and just following instructions accurately, crucial for robotics.
In other areas.
Front end.
Similar story. Another study found Claude 3.7 Sonnet hit 91% success for front-end code.
So it really confirms that developers are living in different worlds based purely on the tools they pick.
Absolutely. It shows how fast this market is moving, how immature it still is in some ways. Your choice of model can make or break the experience.
Fascinating. So tool choice is massive. But what else? Well, building on that, no matter which camp you're in, automation fan or spaghetti code critic, everyone seems to agree on one thing.
Let me guess. The human factor.
Bingo. The skill of the person using the AI is absolutely critical.
You can't just yell vague instructions at it and expect miracles.
Exactly. Throwing a vague request at an LLM, recipe for failure, you'll just get frustrated.
Makes sense. Garbage in, garbage out, amplified.
User Japgar put it perfectly. No one likes to hear it, but it comes down to prompting skill. People who are terrible at communicating and delegating complex tasks will be terrible at prompting.
Oof. Hits home, doesn't it? It's about clear communication.
Totally. And User Puel had a great mantra. Context engineering, vibe coding.
Haha, I like that, vibe coding. What does context engineering mean, though?
Basically, front load with instructions, examples, and be specific. Don't just hope the AI gets your vibe. Tell it precisely what you need.
So this prompting skill, is it a totally new skill or just applying existing engineering discipline?
That's a great question. What do you think?
I lean towards the latter. It feels like core engineering principles. Problem decomposition, precise communication, just applied to communicating with an AI instead of, say, writing a spec for another human.
So, like, knowing how to ask the question is as important as knowing the answer.
Exactly. Key techniques seem to be things like specificity. Don't say make a function. Say create a Python function that takes a file path, removes duplicate lines, returns unique lines alphabetically.
Okay, clear instructions. What else?
Providing context, giving it existing code, database schemas, the libraries you're using. The more it knows about the environment, the better.
Right. And examples. Showing it what you want.
Yep, example-based or a few-shot prompting. Show, don't tell. And for big tasks, decomposition. Break it down. Ask for one function at a time, not the whole program at once.
That sounds like good project management, really.
It is. And there's a mindset shift, too. User and Throwaway 99 noted successful users act more like editors than authors.
Meaning they expect mistakes, they review carefully.
Exactly. They don't treat it like a magic black box. They guide it, check its work, refine it. They orchestrate it.
Orchestrate. I like that word. Does this connect to the bigger picture of the workforce?
I think it absolutely does. This ability to orchestrate AI, it feels like a new layer of skill, maybe even a new axis for seniority.
So not just about writing code anymore, but directing the AI effectively.
Precisely. We might see roles emerge like AI orchestrator or system-aware engineer, people focused on high-level design and translating that into effective prompts and guidance for AI agents.
A new kind of seniority, maybe, where orchestrating AI is the key skill.
It's definitely a possibility being discussed.
Okay, so this focus on skill and orchestration, it raises a really important question. What about learning?
The education piece,
I
especially
feel
for
bad.
juniors, right?
Exactly. For people just starting out, is AI helping them learn, or is it actually hindering development?
The learning paradox.
Yeah. On one hand, you have the AI as a crutch argument,
Yeah.
the fear that it encourages superficial understanding.
Like using a calculator without learning the math concepts.
Perfect analogy. User Pico303 literally said, anytime I use it, I can hear my algebra teacher telling me not to use a calculator or I won't learn anything.
It resonates. And user Cambassiers made a crucial point. Reasoning and critical thinking is impossible without a foundational knowledge.
Meaning, if you don't understand the AI's code,
You can't debug it. You can't reason about it. You can't improve it or integrate it reliably. You're stuck.
that's a serious concern for building deep expertise. But then there's the flip side.
The AI as an accelerator view.
Right. The argument that by handling the tedious stuff, AI lowers the barrier to entry, it reduces the getting started cost.
So people can learn by actually doing, by
Yeah,
building things.
That's the idea. User Tombert felt they were definitely learning more than I would if I had simply not finished or even started the project at all.
Because the AI got them over the initial hump, maybe. The boring setup.
Could be. And user Sky2224 pointed out AI can be great for discovery, getting high-level overviews of code bases, seeing new design patterns.
So it can expose you to ideas you might not find otherwise.
Okay, two really different takes there. Crutch versus accelerator. How do we square that? Is learning to code changing fundamentally?
It feels like it must be. What are your thoughts?
Well, what's fascinating is how the required skills for a junior might be shifting if AI handles more routine code.
Then the human needs to focus elsewhere.
Exactly.
Right.
Maybe less on perfect syntax memorization and more on higher level things, debugging complex interactions, system design thinking, critically evaluating the AI's output.
So moving from pure authorship to what? Stewardship?
Stewardship, integration, critical analysis. Yeah, I like those terms. And there was a study by Create Future that found AI productivity gains really only kicked in after users got training.
Proving that foundational knowledge is still key. You can't just jump in blind.
Seems so. You need the basics to leverage the tool effectively, this whole situation. It's going to disrupt technical education, isn't it?
Feels inevitable. Traditional teaching versus AI native learning. And potentially a new kind of skills gap. Not just lack of skills, but a mismatch between traditional theory and the practical skills of AI orchestration.
Companies will need new ways to mentor juniors then, focusing on critical thinking, review skills.
Not just how fast they can type code. It's a big shift.
It really is, and it brings us right back to where we started this whole discussion. The junior developer.
Garman defended them, but the community seems split.
Very split. You have the strong strategic argument. You need juniors to build future seniors. It's talent cultivation.
Like user Pico303 asked, when your senior talent leaves, where will that leave you? You need the pipeline.
Right. And Devout Salsa put it bluntly. If there's no juniors, eventually there will be no seniors. AI slop ain't gonna unslop itself.
Uh-huh. Memorable. The idea that someone still needs the skill to fix the AI's mistakes or manage the systems.
Exactly. That's the long-term strategic view. But then,
Then there's the short-term skepticism,
yeah,
and it can be pretty harsh.
yeah. Remember, user JustX AWS claimed to be a former Amazon employee.
What do they say?
That ChatGPT is better than any junior developer I've ever worked with. Junior devs have always been a net negative for the first year or so.
Oof. That's quite a statement. Reflects real frustration some team leads feel, probably. The cost of training.
No doubt. It's a controversial take, but it's out there. How does that kind of sentiment square with Garmin's defense of juniors?
Well, it leads to that more cynical reading of Garmin's statement, doesn't it?
That was maybe more about corporate messaging, selling AWS tools.
That's what many in the community suspect.
Yeah.
That it's partly a selling point for new AWS agent tools, like their Q Developer or Kiro AI Assistant,
Frame AI as augmenting juniors, making them super productive.
and therefore convince companies to buy more AWS AI services to empower those juniors without actually having to promise not to reduce headcount overall.
That's quite a strategic interpretation.
It fits the broader context, though. Think about the mass layoffs in tech recently.
They weren't always explicitly because of AI replacing jobs, were they?
Often not directly. It's more strategic reallocation. Cutting staff in some areas to free up massive budgets for AI, for GPUs, for data centers.
So AI drives cost-cutting indirectly by demanding huge investment elsewhere.
Exactly. AI becomes a way to potentially extract more value from a smaller, perhaps differently skilled workforce. So the junior developer debate really boils down to corporate time horizons.
Long-term talent investment versus short-term quarterly results.
Precisely. Garmin talks long-term pipeline. Jassy talks short-term efficiency gains. Which pressure wins out? That's the multi-billion-dollar question for the future of junior roles.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, it's clear there's no simple answer here.
Definitely not. It really is a landscape of different worlds. Your experience depends so much on the language, the domain, the specific AI model, and, yeah, your own skill in using it.
And we've seen that huge trade-off, the lure of immediate productivity versus the risk of long-term AI-induced technical debt.
A debt someone will have to pay eventually. Plus, the very definition of developer skill is changing. That whole learning paradox is reshaping education and careers.
And junior developers.
Oh.
Caught right in the middle, between the need to build future talent and those relentless short-term financial pressures.
Their fate hangs in that balance, driven by which corporate time horizon ultimately wins.
So for you listening, navigating all this,
Yeah.
what's the takeaway?
Well, it maybe comes back to Garmin's point, ironically. The enduring skills.
Is stuff AI doesn't replace easily.
Right. Critical thinking, problem decomposition, breaking things down logically, and just that mindset of continuous learning. Those seem pretty future-proof.
The foundational human competencies make sense.
But maybe one last provocative thought to leave people with, something that came up in the discussions.
Go for it.
It's this concept of enshittification, applied to the AI tools themselves.
Okay. Explain that one. Sounds ominous.
It is a bit. User Oblia put it chillingly. Advertising with LLMs will be incredibly insidious and lucrative, and most likely unblockable.
So the fear is that the AI tools themselves will get worse over time as they get commercialized, like search engines did.
Exactly the parallel. Early utility gets gradually swamped by ads, by biased results, by commercial interests compromising the core function.
So the amazing coding assistant we have today might not be the same tomorrow if it's overloaded with ads or subtle biases.
That's the concern, that the current utility might be temporary. It suggests that building your whole long-term strategy purely on today's generative AI tools, that carries a significant platform risk that maybe isn't discussed enough.
Because the platform itself might degrade due to economic pressures.
Precisely. The great divide we're seeing now. Maybe it's just a precursor to a future where these amazing tools get compromised by the very forces that created them.
Wow. Definitely something to think about as we all try to navigate this.
Indeed. Food for thought.